Hey, everybody, welcome to the BKBK podcast where sports and the culture collide and the New York Jets reign supreme. I'm your host, Brandon Phillips, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Kerry Taylor, Brian Taylor, and Captain Kyle McKenna. So, well. What a week we're having here, huh, Jets fans, right?
Sure.
The Jets are the worst team in the league.
Clearly.
They underused one of the best offensive weapons in the NFL and then decided to get rid of that same highly regarded weapon by the name of Le'Veon Bell. So I guess this is how people like Adam Gase handle things when the pressure is on them. I guess he took note of one of Yoko Ono's quotes when he said, quote, "You have to release your emotion in order to keep your sanity." And he shows no emotion on the sideline or anything, but I guess he shows his emotion when he goes upstairs to go and talk to the GM, Joe Douglas. And then when he goes and talks to him, he's kind of like, "Oh, Joe, I'm stressed. Let's get rid of Jamal Adams. Wait a second. Hey, Joe, I'm stressed. Let's get rid of Le'Veon Bell."
Oh, Lord.
And now look at our team. Look at the team now. So, considering the latest edit to our team has been Le'Veon Bell, let's discuss Le'Veon and let's discuss where he is now. Oh, he's with the world champion Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, you can't make this up. You absolutely can't make this up. He went from worst to first in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Making money off the Jets and making money off of KC. It doesn't get any better than that.
He took $28 million with him.
For real. Oh, my God.
Was it 28 with him?
Well, he had 28 guaranteed, so he gets the guaranteed.
Oh, well, see, he's already eaten some of that $28 million. So, I mean, we only have, in fairness, what is it, another 7 or something like that this year? And then another 5 or something is a dead cap. 4 or 5 million is a dead cap next year. So
27.9 for 19 games.
Right.
Wow.
That's
the stat I saw.
Right. We were hoodwinked. And as a result, he said, "You know what? I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. No, you know what? On the way home, I'm going to stop off in Kansas City and pick up a ring, by the way."
Were we hoodwinked, though? I don't. I guess we'll find out, right? I think we'll find out over the next, 10 weeks or whatever, or 9 weeks, because I think he has to sit out at least one. We'll find out if it was us or if it was him, right?
I honestly don't hold any grudges against him. I mean, I think that he was a model student to a certain extent in terms of his mouth. But he said nothing that I did not agree with. Behind that offensive line, he didn't perform well. But who would thus far?
And behind that play calling, he did not produce well. Who has?
No. I anticipate behind the play calling in Kansas City that he will be utilized as a out of the backfield significant option, and they'll be slinging the ball around, and he will be extremely happy and will re-sign with them next year.
Well,
yeah.
So we're all under the same parameters that the roster in Kansas City is 10 to 20 to 30 million times better than the roster in New York. Correct.
Sure.
We're not comparing apples to oranges.
No, Coach. I'm not
apples.
comparing the roster. I'm not comparing the roster. I'm comparing the play calling. If we just leave it at play calling, an offensive scheme, I'm saying regardless, he will have a multitude of success when you compare him to how he was being utilized here.
Yeah, and that's what Andy Reid is known for, right? I mean, he's going to utilize you where your skills are and what your strengths are and leverage those versus, talking about, this is my program and these are the plays that I'm going to run. I'm tired of watching Frank Gore run up in between the tackles every single run play. Like, it's 80% of our run plays. So
but we realize that has nothing to do with Le'Veon Bell.
No, it doesn't.
We're talking about right here.
It doesn't.
So let's unpack Le'Veon Bell for a second.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So I am kind of in the Kerry camp where I do believe we were hoodwinked. I do believe that we had a guy in the building that was about getting that money. and thinking about this a lot, because we are always thinking about this. We're always texting about it and everything like that.
Explain the hoodwinked, description though. I mean, like
on record, I didn't come into camp in shape. I was complacent. I was not ready to play after a year off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so that's for year one. Year two doesn't exist. Year two was 6 quarters. Okay, so let's. I mean, I know that we've talked about this, and we've talked about his utilization, how much we utilized him. He had a pulled hamstring and played longer than he should have in the first game. All right, so completely throw that out, in my opinion. That has nothing to do with usage or decisions of usage.
So
unless you're
is
going to
that his fault? Is that his fault? Because if you're saying hoodwink, then you're kind of saying it was his fault.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm saying that the first year,
mm-hmm.
if you're telling me that you didn't come in after a year off and the biggest payday of your career ready to play, that's a checkbox on the hoodwink part.
Well,
that's a money.
Well, add to this though, that in fairness, before he played it down or reported, the coach didn't want you as part of the team.
Thank you.
So if you're saying
don't sign the contract,
the contract was already signed. Contract was already signed before you knew that. So
that's not professional. That doesn't matter.
Neither,
that doesn't matter.
And it's not professional from a coaching standpoint either. At this point in time, you're supposed to have a conversation with the general manager, and if you agree, fine. If you don't, get the guy fired, I guess. Is basically what's supposed to happen. And at that point in time, one of the sticking points was the contract of Le'Veon Bell. That was the biggest sticking point from what I understand, in addition to the draft and how it was handled or whatever from McCagnon's standpoint. At least that's what we heard. But number one thing is Le'Veon Bell wasn't wanted by the head coach before he played it down or reported to the team and had already signed the contract. Had he known that I wasn't wanted in the building from the head coach that's actually supposed to be providing me the plays necessary to get me the ball, maybe he doesn't even sign with us.
And secondly, let me just add on. If you guys remember, in the offseason, there were reports that Le'Veon Bell had gotten all the way up to 260 pounds. And then they were afraid that he was going to report to camp at 260 pounds. He did not report to camp at 260. He reported in the 230s, but he usually plays at around 227. So yes, he was a little bit above that. And I think that's why he was saying that he wasn't in the shape that he normally is in, but he wasn't like 260 pounds trying to play running back. He was in like the mid 230s. So let's, put that in a little bit of perspective here.
Sure.
And then this year,
I'm just taking the player's words. This is what the player knows better than anybody else.
I understand that.
If he wasn't prepared to play and he admitted so, then to me that's completely unprofessional.
I understand that, but Kyle, if people are saying that he's 260 pounds and he doesn't come to camp at 260 pounds, there's a lot of conjecture there as well. But I understand what you're saying, and I understand what he's saying too.
People can say he's 260 pounds. What we know is how he showed up.
Right.
And how he showed up was unprofessionally out of shape. So I'll leave that there. This year I've said it the entire time. It's a complete waste of a year. We shouldn't be comparing stats. We shouldn't be comparing anything. It's a complete bunk year. If you're a Jet fan or if you're not a Jet fan, half these games aren't going to happen. We got games that are being rescheduled for 2 months from now because they can't play because of COVID. So that's a whole nother thing. But this is how I've chosen to look at this. Okay. So we can all agree that the Jets organization is dysfunctional, that Adam Gase, and I agree with you, Brian, Adam Gase, however it came out, it was leaked. If he leaked it, said that he never wanted him in the first place. That's fine. I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, which is not dysfunctional. Okay. The Pittsburgh Steelers organization got rid of Antonio Brown. They got rid of they refused to give in to the demands of Le'Veon Bell. And it's worked out great for them. They've had no problems filling those roster spots with people that can do the job. Because I think they know that those two players in particular, and you could throw some other names in there, like the guy that shot himself in Lake Plaxico. They have an idea and a pulse on what makes a good locker room. And Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell did not make a good locker room to them. And they got rid of him. And it didn't work out well for Antonio Brown. He's not even on a team now. And I think that with Le'Veon Bell, I think that what we're seeing is a diminishing running back. I think that he will go and he will have success in KC for the reasons that you said. He will be Darren Sprouled by Andy Reid in a way in which he will score touchdowns. He is not going to be rushing for 200 yards a game. He is not going to be getting 35 touches a game.
They're not going to ask him to.
That they have.
Yeah.
But see, this is what we're comparing. We're saying that he should have gotten that here.
No, I don't even think that, Kyle. What we're saying
underutilized.
Underutilized. You can admit that he was underutilized here. And even in the first year, we saw flashes of him coming out of the backfield and being the best receiver on the field at the time. Even coming into camp, the way in which, from his own standards, he was not in the greatest of shape. Now, I don't like that, but what I will say to you as a man, if for you to admit that you made that kind of mistake and say, "Look, right. and then to own up to it,
correct,
and then still look like you should be doing a lot more than the way in which your offense is utilizing you," says to me that that's not necessarily 100%, even 50% him. That is the organization that you have chosen to sign with. And even with that said, he still was like, I want to be here. I want to contribute.
Even after Jamal left.
Yeah. Even after Jamal left.
Is
that what he said on Monday?
I also have to.
Of course not. He's not going to say that on Monday because he's being traded, right? I mean, you wouldn't say that on Monday if you knew that you were being traded.
And you cut me at the end of the day, right? I mean, so look at how the organization has treated him during the period of time that he's been here. But in addition to that,
because nobody would trade for him.
Okay, well, I mean,
I that's absolutely true.
Well,
you're absolutely right.
Well, yes. That's the albatross of a contract that he signed in the first place.
Thing. Exactly.
And that's an organizational thing.
Apparently, it was the injury settlement thing. There was an injury settlement on that contract that made it so that no one wanted to touch it.
Right, but are you going to pay $8 million for a running back? Hold on a second, bro. Brandon, are you going to pay $8 million for a running back in a COVID year, and then trade an asset away for him?
No,
they're not going to do that, Kyle. Right, no. Which is why they couldn't get that. Especially, how many games have they played? 5.
So don't get bent. Don't get bent if you're released.
Again, right, Kyle, right? No. You know that you'd have been bent if you were released too. You know what I'm saying? Now he's bent to the extent that, okay, you don't want me, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Correct.
That's all it is.
Look, the Baldwin Bruins didn't have a winning season until our senior year, and I didn't transfer to West Hempstead.
Nah, Brandon, let me go. Nah, go ahead, B. Go ahead,
B.
So, Kyle, I just want to go back to the whole Pittsburgh thing when you're saying that he was, basically, you may not have used the word cancer for the locker room, but a detriment to the locker room. Him and Antonio Brown.
He was never that.
Basically,
you can't mention him and Antonio Brown in the same sentence when you're talking
about for the same team and they were both released. That's the only thing I said.
Okay, that's what you mean. All right.
I disagree with you because he was getting all the touches that he could ever ask for in Pittsburgh. It was just a money thing, So it's not like he wasn't being utilized. Here, with the Jets, he got his money, but he's not being utilized. You know what I'm saying?
He sat out an entire year of football.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Why?
And he made it back.
Money.
And he made it back.
Because of the money.
You gonna fault the guy for that?
He was smart.
No, he wasn't smart though. He wasn't smart. He actually had a higher contract when, that he said no to, and then sat out a year and signed for a lower contract.
You're not going to be a cancer if you're not even with the organization.
I'm with you, B. I'm with you.
Brown was a total cancer.
Exactly. And I think we had this argument. When you didn't want to sign Le'Veon in the first place, B, actually. And I was on, and you're arguing my point that I made like a couple of years ago.
Me and Brandon were both on that train.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
what, Brian?
Yeah.
You were right.
I love it.
Because back in 2018 or whatever it was, I was arguing against it. I was. There you go.
All right,
we're going to win. I had 50.
Get out of town.
I just think that however you slice this up, the underutilization argument, we're talking about one game this year.
What?
In which
we're not talking about last year. We're not talking about
no. I'm talking about if we're talking about this year and underutilization.
No, we're not.
Talking about one game.
I don't think we are. I think we're talking about the entirety of his tenure here.
Yeah, the entire tenure.
I think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, last year and whatever time he played this year.
So then, if you're going to talk about just one game, why cut an All-Pro type running back after one game? That's so dumb to me. That's stupid, especially when you have no other weapons. Nothing. It is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, and I think
now I think the conversation's kind of evolving into something different now.
No, so then let it evolve. Let it go there then. That's fine. Yeah. Because talking about how terrible Adam Gase is, you know what I'm saying? Like he I think has absolutely ruined this team. As a matter of fact, if you wouldn't mind pulling up that asset that we have, you know what I'm saying? Adam Gase has ruined this team. The team was already just not so good, okay? And then now he just made them absolutely horrific. Check it out, fans that are watching this show, the BKBK podcast. Adam Gase right here, How to Ruin an NFL Franchise. I'll read it to you, all right? Alienate star players.
Check.
He's done that.
Check.
All right? Run Frank Gore up the middle on 2nd and 8.
Didn't I just say that? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Destroy franchise QB. He's in the process of doing that.
Done.
Step 4, repeat number 2. That's running Frank Gore up the middle.
What did I say, man?
Where'd you get this from?
I got it off Facebook.
This is on Facebook.
Yeah, we got to credit
the world's largest Jets Facebook fan group.
Oh,
yeah,
I love it. I love
give
them.
him credit.
A lot of clowns over there.
But one thing you're forgetting is that you know who actually makes the decisions to let go of people? That would be Joe Douglas.
Yes.
So
yeah, but
so
is he though? Do we know that this is the case? Because it doesn't seem apparent to me.
Well, then so then if that's the case, then we have a coach GM at the end of the day. We don't really have a GM. We just have a player personnel guy that's there that is getting paid an awful lot of money to just be a player personnel guy. So if Gase is pulling the strings,
let's unpack that for a second.
Adam Gase helped him get his job here. He vouched for him because they did have a relationship as well.
Okay,
so,
but at some point in time, you have to do your job and say, I'm not going to be a puppet.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Or not, we don't know if they're on the same wavelength. We don't know who's pulling the strings mostly, but we do know that there is a relationship there.
Sure.
And I don't know who's got more leverage. This is the first time that Joe Douglas is an official GM, and maybe he needs more time to develop the backbone, or maybe he already has it. We don't know. But my thing is, as a head coach, you have an incredible amount of influence over your team without having to have the influence of GM responsibilities or influence over a GM. You can be a head coach, okay, and still absolutely ruin a team. And that's the point of view that I'm coming from. And we're seeing it now happen every weekend. He is functionally ruining the team. Now, the owners can ruin an entire organization.
And they have.
And that's something that we can tackle farther down the line here in this episode, okay? But this year and last year, but this year especially, Adam Gase is ruining the New York Football Jets.
And what I would add to that is this. The lengthier contract here, which always translates into leverage, is
the GM.
Our GM. Okay?
Yeah,
so
6 years,
right? We don't know how the conversation went in that room. What we do know is that Douglas does not have the ability to call plays or to insert players at his leisure. He has to rely on his head coach to do that. And if the relationship is strained in terms of between the head coach and the running back, then at a point you have to say as a GM, this is just not going to work because these two guys are not going to be on the same page. What am I going to do what are my options here?
Or what you say is, you know what? I don't know if this head coach is going to be here next year, but I know I've got a talented running back.
Mm-hmm.
Should I try to make this work as best as possible for
Mm-hmm.
now? And let's make this decision next year when we have a new head coach to say, you know what? Do you want to keep Le'Veon or do you not want to keep Le'Veon? Is he part of is he part of your package or not? And at that point in time, you still have the opportunity to actually, you could trade him at that point in time because really you only owe money for a year. So he's much more valuable to you as a trade asset next year when you've already paid him the majority of the signing bonus and everything this year. So when you trade him over the summer, then you might actually get an asset for him. Right now,
that's
you knew
only,
you weren't.
Not getting enough.
That's assuming that the conversation went the way that you say it did in that room with the three of them.
Let's role play it. Let's okay. I'm Adam Gase.
I'll be Le'Veon. Let's go.
Okay.
Who's Douglas? Who's Douglas?
Brandon, you be Douglas.
Brandon
right?
be Douglas.
Okay.
Right.
So you're Le'Veon. What are you doing on?
Hey, coach, I'm ready. My hamstring is good.
What are you doing on Twitter? What are you doing on Twitter on Sunday night?
Hold on.
Who's going first? Is the coach going first? Is Le'Veon going first?
I'm imagining the conversation is happening just how it's happening right now. Everybody's talking over each other.
I think the coach will go up first.
First of all, I don't think Le'Veon's in the room when this decision is made.
All right, go ahead.
So Le'Veon is.
But a conversation took place, though. You have to.
Le'Veon's
a conversation took place.
Le'Veon's in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday night. Mm-hmm. He's going on Twitter. You see Le'Veon, that some people have said that the Jets should trade you. What do you start doing on Twitter?
Liking them.
Like. Adam Gase, I'm here. I'm on my burner account.
Mm-hmm.
Funny.
And I'm retweeting stuff like, funny pictures of Lane Kiffin and Andy Reid, on my burner account,
mm-hmm.
and checking Le'Veon to see what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that he likes this, this meme of me, with my eyes popping out and talking at a press conference.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk into Joe Douglas on Monday morning, and I said, Joe, did you see Le'Veon's tweets?
I sure did. And you know what? I didn't really like it that much, but I understand why he's upset. What's going on with you guys?
Ooh.
I underutilize him. I did that whole one game. Sorry about that. I'll be
Last
better.
Year too.
Oops.
We don't want to talk about the past, Joe and Le'Veon. We're only going forward. And me, as the head coach of the New York Jets, as Chris Johnson says I will be until my contract is over, that's how I feel.
Well, Coach Gase.
So what are you going to do about it, Joe?
For us to know how we're going to project into the future, we need to know a little bit about the past. You kind of have a lot of history of, underutilizing quality running backs, kind of like
AKA you suck.
Le'Veon.
And use the word alienating too. Alienating.
You seem to not have a relationship with the best players on the team. And that kind of
me and Peyton Manning got along great.
Oh my God.
Me and Manning, we got along great. We had a great offense.
You were not a head coach then. You were not a head coach then, Coach Gase.
David Fales, when we were in Miami, we got along great.
David Fales, it was not a starting quarterback.
David Fales.
He started some games for me when Tannehill was hurt.
David Fales.
He's not the best at his position. He's not a team leader. Okay?
David does not succeed.
Jamal Adams was a team leader. He's gone. Le'Veon Bell.
How about this, Joe?
He's gone.
How about this, Joe? Fire me then. You can't, because Chris won't let you. So I guess you're gonna have to release Le'Veon now.
Or how about come on, Kyle?
You know what?
You don't want to use me. So
you didn't come to camp in shape last year. That's why I didn't use you.
Yeah, but did you see that touchdown I caught in the end zone over that defensive back?
Hey, Coach,
I mossed him.
Hey, Coach, what kind of shape was he in this year?
No, in the game. First game of the season.
Are we talking about practice?
Out of shape. That's me out of shape, son.
He was on the bench with a pulled hamstring. Joe. So what are you gonna do, Joe? You're gonna release him so I can play P. Ryan
Or release
and
me.
Frank Gore, who I have a great relationship with. I have a great relationship with Frank Gore.
Yes, you do. You
He's
do
a
have
Hall of
great
Famer.
relationship. Yes, he is a Hall of Famer, and he's playing like a Hall of Famer too. Not.
Okay, let's stop the role play.
No,
Let's
no,
go.
no, no.
Do
no,
we
no,
think
no,
this is how it went?
no,
Do we
no,
really think this is how it
No.
went?
No.
No.
You'll be gone at the end of this season, if not by the bye week.
Wow.
All right.
So
There you go.
you think that so Brandon, you honestly think that Joe Douglas had his hand forced?
I think no, not necessarily, because I can't, emphatically prove that. But there's,
I asked you what you thought, not what you can prove.
and I just said no. I said
Okay.
no, and I like to go with more proof. That's the way I do it. So I'm not going to answer the question the way you want me to. I'm going to
Okay.
do it how I do it. Okay. So basically,
Y'all acting like Gase and Douglas right now. The two of y'all.
what I'm saying is, a head coach. Yeah, there you go, Kyle. Don't blink either. Gase is the head coach. They have a relationship, and the fact I'm going to assume that he has influence over decisions, because I know that Adam Gase didn't get along with Jamal Adams. He didn't get along with Le'Veon Bell. So there's got to be some influence there, considering that he has a relationship with Joe Douglas before Joe Douglas was hired, and he's also the head coach. How much influence, where he lies on the spectrum, I do not know. So, but to say that he has no influence, I don't believe that. To say that he does have influence, I definitely believe that. I just don't know how much.
Yeah, and what I would say is this, and I didn't get an opportunity to role play, so it was nice to kind of to take it and see everybody play it out.
Fan, D.
What?
You were role playing. You're basically the disgruntled fan, so you were role playing as well.
Oh, I should have said more than
Man, I'm role playing
Should've
all
said more
day,
than-
every day.
So Kyle, what I was waiting for you to say is that, well, listen, Douglas, I kind of got you your job, so you owe me, and I was expecting for you to say that in the role play, because again, that's influence unto itself. You don't even need to say that during these conversations, but at the end of the day, Douglas is not here if it's not for Gase being there and the relationship that they had previously. So the relationship that they have allows them to quote unquote be on the same page as far as player personnel and decisions and what have you. So it's implied that this was a collaborative decision, not unilateral by Douglas. Just saying.
Yeah, and the key word is implied.
Yes.
Well,
Not 100% sure.
I think that I agree with a lot of what Brandon's saying, and what you're saying on this. The problem is that I think that we're dealing in a world of common sense when we have these conversations, and it sounds like the four walls of Florham Park, inside of those four walls, is a completely dysfunctional, bizarro world in which none of the things that we're trying to make common sense out of right now really apply. I think that there's that level of dysfunction going on in there that I don't even know if we knew the truth. I don't even know if we can handle it.
Or we would believe it.
So yeah, but I think that we really need to know here who is the shot caller, because I think that us going back and forth and saying like they're aligned in their decision making and they're I think that there's a shot caller here, and I think there's a junior, and
in this relationship,
a son. Yeah, I think that from the impression that I get from Brandon overall, not saying what his opinion is, but him talking it out and then thinking what goes on inside there, is that I think that Adam Gase probably sons Joe Douglas.
No, I wasn't saying that.
Well, I'm not saying that you say it. I'm saying based on what you said and what I think, this is where I'm going.
So let me clarify, because I wasn't even inferring that. I was saying that he's a terrible head coach, okay, and I feel like he does have some influence. Now I don't know, how much influence he has, on the GM to say, all right, I'm going to cut this person versus not cutting this person, But what I do know is that he is the cancerous effect. He is ruining the locker room. He is the Antonio Brown of the New York Jets. It's
So
him.
who is holding him accountable?
Doesn't sound
Well,
like
that's
anybody is.
again. Now we do remember that
He still has a job.
in the past.
So then he's calling the shots.
Well, we don't know that because we remember in the past it has been, a equal. Everybody gets an equal say in the room as per the owner, right? So there isn't.
Owner's a joke too.
Well, that's where it starts, right?
Sure.
That's where it begins and ends.
Sure.
And if that hierarchy is still in place, that means everybody gets a vote. There is no boss. The boss is, who I decide to break rank or who I decide to go with or align myself with as the owner. Okay, well, Adam Gase, I believe you're right. We're going to go with you. Or, Joe Douglas, I believe you're right. We're going to go with you. So, that has to change. And what I'm telling you is that once Gase is gone, because his contract is significantly less in terms of tenure than
Douglas.
And Joe Douglas's, it's going to be Joe Douglas's show to run.
Yeah. But there will be not much of a show left by the time we get to it, which is probably our next segment. But
I don't understand. I don't understand why Brandon isn't more bad or more mad at Joe Douglas then.
I mean, I'm upset with the entire organization, but there's a hierarchy here, and I think that Adam Gase is the biggest harm right now to the immediate lack of success of the Jets organization. I'll put it to you this way. If we had the same ownership, the same GM, and Andy Reid was here with the talent that we have here, I'd say that we'd probably be 8-8. And then Gase with the talent over there in Kansas City and the ownership and everything, he'd probably be 7-9.
That's one game difference. Yeah.
But look at the talent and the ownership and Mahomes and all that. That's what I'm saying. Like, he sucks that much.
All I'm saying is that if Joe Douglas is the shot caller, then he says to Adam, I know that you're not happy with this, but live with it because it's the best thing for the organization. If Gase is the shot caller, he says, hey, Joe, I know you don't want to release him right now, but I need you to. And the result of this was that he was released.
I don't think he is. And that's where we differ.
Yeah,
I don't think
he
is at this time. I think it is the owner having the same hierarchical structure.
Right.
And he's going to have to figure out that this guy has a longer contract, and as a result, he's going to have to make the decision to let go Gase at the end of the year. And then when he has the power to hire who he wants to hire, then I will hold him 100% accountable.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Douglas pulls the trigger on the release of the player, no matter who makes the decision. It's his hand that presses enter on the keyboard. So
unless the owner says you got to release this guy.
Yeah, press enter. You know what I mean? Unless the owner says press enter, and when you think about,
I'd like to know the answer to that question.
Oh yeah, we will
owner,
never
that's
know.
A whole nother thing.
We will never know. All we're gonna do is speculate here, and even if something comes out later on, it's all gonna be speculation from inside sources inside the organization. Gase, Johnson, and Douglas, none of them are gonna come out and say this is how it went down. But what we try to do, as far as speculation is concerned, is look at what happened when McCagg got fired. Right? McCagnon got fired because Gase went directly to the owner and said, you know what? This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. And, the draft sucked and we didn't get the right free agents. He signed Le'Veon Bell, fired the guy. What do? He fired the guy. So
yeah, but that's also a bizarro world thing because no organization worth anything would keep a GM to do a draft and then fire him after the draft.
Oh, well, I mean, the Knicks do it, and so do the Jets. I mean, and we're living in bizarro world in these two organizations right now. We have for a while. And again, the structure. We've spoken to it. Kerry just brought it up again. It's the structure and how it's set up. The coach should report to the GM, who should report to the owner, and that's how it should go. And it doesn't go that way right now. Everybody independently goes to the owner and has these backstabbing conversations, supposedly, right? And this is what leads to dysfunction at the end of the day.
This is why we have to get rid of Adam Gase. He's like the last
No. But it's Chris Johnson. You could get rid of Adam Gase, but you can still have the structure, Brandon. So at the end of the day, if you get rid of Gase, you bring somebody else in, they can still, separately have conversations. I don't disagree with you with Gase. I think we all say Gase should be fired. No. 200%.
But what I'm
saying,
why
isn't he is the case?
But what I'm saying is you got to get rid of Gase so that at least Douglas is given the opportunity to hire his own head coach, and then we can evaluate from there the broken structure, or if the structure can kind of coalesce and come together.
But he does. But again, the second part, it's like 1A and 1B. What you just stated was that then Douglas can hire his own coach, but based on the current structure, he doesn't hire the next coach. So you have to change that after the minute you fire Gase. You have to change the structure where Douglas actually does hire the next person.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Well, and then that's as significant as firing Gase, probably even more so than firing Gase, is that you have to change that structure where Douglas wholeheartedly, singly, hires that person. Not exactly. I'm going to collaborate with Johnson or.
You're saying the same thing.
Okay.
You are saying the same thing, and that's exactly what I was saying. But you have to start by trimming that fat of Gase. You got to start there, and then you and I saying the exact same thing. So listen.
Speaking of firing Gase,
let's transition, guys. Let's transition. And it's kind of related.
Hold on a second, Brandon. Speaking of firing Gase, Kerry sent out this text before going to Snopes to see if it was real. And
sprinkle that over there.
And I just want to throw salt on the wound this a little bit.
Right.
First of
Kerry,
all,
what the heck were you thinking, Kerry? Right. What's going on with you?
That was a joke. I just wanted to be like, hey, check this.
He thought it was serious. He was about to cry on the other end.
Not at all.
What grown man goes on Twitter on PlayStation? Come on now.
Terry was playing Metroid and then came up on this, and then
it didn't know that it was Twitter for PlayStation 2.
Funny.
But I think the scariest thing about this right here is that it is believable and it could happen tomorrow. And I think that we just had this whole conversation about who's in control. And I think Brian, ultimately, you're the one that's correct. Chris Johnson is in control, and Chris Johnson can pull the trigger on this, and Chris Johnson can make this happen, and he could tell everybody this is what we're doing. And I don't know what I would do. I don't. know.
I told you what I would do. I'm done. You better. You would have a placeholder in my frame, and you're gonna insert somebody else because I'd be done. As a Jet fan, done.
Where you going, Kerry? Hold on, Kerry. If you're done, where are you going?
I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be somebody fan of a person, of a player. That's it. Right. That's it. I'm gonna still root for Mekhi Becton. I'm gonna still root for Poole. I'm gonna still root for Darnold.
Are you gonna root for Quinnen Williams? Because
I'm gonna root for Quinnen. I like Quinnen.
Because there's whispers, about Quinnen Williams and some others being traded by the deadline. So let's move into that. There's some whispers about that.
And my opinion about that. You're going to develop somebody who has significantly increased his ability.
Yes.
From year one to this year, and then decide you're going to trade him away. Like that just speaks to what your organization is about.
My Alexa in the other room just started playing things. Like I'm telling you, the artificial intelligence is taking over.
It's real.
Well, they're just as angry. They're just as angry with the Jets as we are.
Well, I'll tell you, if the Jets do this, they re-sign him, I'm giving up my season tickets and moving to Seattle.
You mean trade him, right? You mean trade him?
Wait, I already did that.
You mean trade him? No. So here's my thought. Here's my thought process.
This asset.
Yeah. So here's my thought process here. So you traded Jamal Adams. So basically what you were talking about, Kerry, is what you did with Jamal Adams is that you developed a player who was a top, what was it, 6 draft pick in the league, and you traded him for 2 first-round picks, which we said, you know what, I guess that's good. We traded him for 2 first-round picks. At the end of the day, we couldn't argue with the haul and what we got back for him. Quinnen Williams is not an all-star, right? He's not a Pro Bowler. He's a developing player. Is still developing. probably won't be that level this year either when it's all said and done. But we'll see where he ends the year.
Maybe.
Everything is maybe, right? But is that
right.
But would you bet on it?
Nope.
Okay.
Would I bet that he's going to be an All-Pro or Pro Bowler?
Pro Bowler.
No, I would not.
It's a lot easier to be a Pro Bowler. Than
right. That's what I'm saying. So
right.
Pro Bowler. I'm not talking about All-Pro. Pro Bowler.
I wouldn't even bet that, but I think that he would.
What's the bet? What's the odds?
Everybody else will have COVID, and then he'll be the next D-line up.
Yeah. Let's say we get through a whole 16, man. Not a Pro Bowler. You wouldn't bet any money on that right now. Right now.
He's got 2.5 sacks. I'm going to guess that he will end the season with 7, which is considerably more than what he had last year.
Yeah.
And, maybe about, for a D lineman, maybe about 30 tackles and maybe about 10 behind the line of scrimmage.
7-8 sacks for an interior D lineman is not bad because
right.
you got to bring in the
when you don't have anybody on the edges.
You got to bring in the metrics of tackles for loss,
right?
And QB hurries and pressures and stuff.
He has played well in every game this year. And
no,
again, that's not saying a lot.
No, he hasn't. No, he has. He hasn't played well in every game this year, Kerry. He has not. He's played well, and we've played 5 games, 3. He's played well in 3. 2 is he's played average. 1 below average. So I
would disagree. I would disagree. When I say that, I'm not talking about just from the perspective of making sacks. I'm talking about pressures.
Sure.
I'm talking about disruption.
Sure.
I'm talking about
disciplined play.
Yeah.
Disciplined play. Yeah.
He lost the game for us, arguably on a penalty.
That's arguably. I mean, because
there was a lot of other things that happened in the game. I'm not blaming the game on him. I'm saying that in the moment of time.
But I'll tell you what, I examine him, just former D lineman. He holds his gaps well. He shoots his gaps well. He doesn't get much help, and then he already has 2.5 sacks. So my prediction is 7. My hopeful prediction. And I also talked about his tackles and tackles for losses, etc. He only needs 4.5 more sacks, and we've got 11 more games to go. So that's feasible. And for an interior tackle to get 7, like Kyle was saying, 7, maybe 8 sacks, that's pretty darn good. But I don't think it's enough for him to make, say, the Pro Bowl, unless we have a couple falling out, from COVID or whatever. Like
8 sacks would be equal to Jordan Jenkins. Or that guy from Jacksonville whose name I can't pronounce.
Right.
That got traded.
So I'm gonna say this because I'm the only one. I'm the only one that's on the trade him. The trade.
I'm not even gonna say 8. I'm gonna say 7.
7.
Can I before you go, Brian?
Okay.
With the trade thing, do you think you could get more for him right now than we did for Leonard Williams?
Yes.
Leonard Williams did go to Pro Bowls.
Well, I think he went to 1 Pro Bowl.
Right. And
he went to a Pro Bowl.
Yes.
And he was in a contract year. And you're talking about he was in his walk year too. So you got to consider that in the grand scheme.
You got to be able to get more. You got to be able to get more for him.
Exactly. He's still developing at this point in time.
And he's cheap labor.
Yeah. So my thing is this, and we spoke about, at least Kyle kind of, let's blow it up at this point in time. And I am in agreement with that from the perspective of if you're wanting to give Douglas the opportunity to build this team how he wants to build it, then look at the premier players in this league. Is cornerback, which we have none. We have Brian Poole at slot. You're talking about offensive tackles. We have Becton, which, all intents and purposes. But right now I would say both because, you can have pass rushers coming from right or left. You really need top tackles on both sides. But left tackle, understanding if you are, the blind side, you got to protect it. So that's obviously more premium than the right, but you still have people coming from all over the place, right? Yeah. But so I think both tackles are premium. Your quarterback position, that's
number 1.
Which is number 1, which we don't, by all intensive purposes, know if we have yet. And pass rusher. We don't have, at the premium positions, maybe we have 1.5 of those. I mean, Becton is really it. We don't know if we have Darnold. But Becton is it. So if you have the opportunity to get a first-round draft pick for Quentin Williams, I'm not taking a 2, 3, 4, 5. But if you get a first-round draft pick for him, we already have 2 first-rounders, and now you add another first-round pick to the roster of picks that we have, We have what, 2 second rounders at this point in time. But at the end of the day, if we're trying to speed up the process, think of a la Las Vegas and what they did with Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack. They all look like idiots at the point in time that they traded their best players. Now, they beat Kansas City last week and looked pretty good. Looked like a reputable ball club. So you have the ability in the first round to maybe draft Trevor Lawrence number 1. Maybe draft, your wide receiver of the future. Not premium, but you need we're starving of, playmakers, right? You have maybe late round first round or maybe mid first round, pick up your cornerback of the future or your pass rusher of the future. So you can have 3 premium picks in the first round, and that doesn't include your second round picks as well, to really jumpstart this rehab of your roster at this point. At D tackle is not a premium position at this point in time, and to me, eventually you're going to have to pay this guy. I don't mind paying if he's going to be that much of a talent, but I'd rather have it. Do you want Q or do you want a cornerback that can lock somebody down? Do you want Q or do you want an outside linebacker that can get pressure whenever you want? To me, I'd rather have that cornerback or tackle or wide receiver.
Well, all right. Okay. I agree mostly with what you're saying, but I don't, just from the top of it, at this point, our first round number 3 pick from last year, Quentin Williams, that has a lot of potential. I don't think that we should trade him. I think that we have 2 first round picks and we have 2 second round picks, I believe. Yep. I think that let's just say we go with Trevor Lawrence, whatever, first pick. I think our next pick in that first round should either be a wide receiver or a pass rusher. Now, if you look at our draft, remember all those consecutive years, we were getting D linemen, and not just defensive ends. We were getting all interior tackles, if you remember.
Yep.
Look at Sheldon Richardson.
Yep.
Look at Williams.
Yep.
Look at Quentin. Look at all these interior guys. Like we had Mo Wilkerson.
Yep.
It's
Mo
like these are
Wilkerson,
all D tackle guys. Like you know what? We were getting too much. When were we going to get an end? When were we going to get a first round caliber outside linebacker to rush the passer? They stacked up too many interior defensive lines, so much so that people like Sheldon Richardson, when they would play like a 3-4, he was one of the more athletic D linemen. They put him on at outside linebacker. Why do you have a 300-pounder playing outside linebacker? Why? Because you have a plethora of D linemen. So it was poor drafting.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But there is still a really big value for interior defensive linemen, especially the more athletic ones that can shoot the gap. So if you complement that D lineman with someone who is a phenomenal outside pass rusher, outside linebacker, they just complement each other, man, yin and yang, man, and they can make it happen, So I still value that interior defensive lineman as long as they're a really good player, as long as they have an outside end or outside linebacker to do that. And then, so now let's just say we pick up a quarterback. Fine. Okay, whatever. It's another, that's another convo. That second, if we keep Quentin and we still have 2 second round draft picks, I'm cool with getting that first round pass rusher, and then the cornerback and the receiver can be in the second round. That's just me. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that we should give up on Quentin, just yet, because I watch him and he's still developing and he's got a quick burst and he's good, man. He's good. He's just still young.
Yeah, I don't doubt that, and I don't trade him for a bag of donuts, but I'm listening, and if there's a deal to be made that includes a first round draft pick, I'm pulling the trigger.
What if it's a first round draft pick and it's number 31? You pulling that trigger?
I am.
I'm not.
No.
I am.
No, neither am I.
I am.
No.
I am.
And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing, guys. At some point, we have to have building blocks of players that.
Thank you, Kerry.
That demonstrate what we want to be as an organization, and we sign them and we re-sign them because they want to be here, and it eliminates or sort of attracts free agents that we don't have to give up draft picks for, right? That want to be here not only for the money and don't hold us hostage because for them to sign here, we have to overpay them significantly more than if they were to sign with someone who has a winning organization.
A great point, man.
Right?
Point,
so I don't.
So keeping Q is going to give us the street cred to be able to sign.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that at some point you got to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Right. You can't have an entire roster of rookies.
And
right?
You can't keep hitting the reset button every other year as well. So I think what Kerry's trying to articulate is basically saying we need to establish a foundation, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kerry. And okay, me personally, as I've articulated, I'm willing to start that, foundation with Q, and then build off of that with other people and with other people as well. We can't keep hitting the reset button and cycling people out of our organization and just bringing in draft picks who we don't know are going to work out or not.
Did you say that we shouldn't have traded Jamal Adams?
Again,
my thing with
Jamal Adams. My thing with Jamal Adams is Jamal Adams started twerking. Started chirping. Started chirping in the locker room, and it became a problem. He is liking photos of or tweets of going to the Dallas Cowboys and going to another organization. Mm-hmm. At some point, you got to say, look, does he really want to be here? Does he really want to be here? And if he does, why do I have to sign him right now for that money?
And let's remember, he heard about rumors about, last year about the Jets entertaining conversations with the Cowboys about potentially trading him before he started acting awry.
Right.
Did he really hear them?
I mean, we heard him.
Or was that? I mean,
hang out with him.
Did we hear him? I mean, if we heard him, then I'm sure he heard him.
Did we hear them because his people put them out there?
I mean, now you're speculating a little bit too deep.
I don't think I'm speculating any more than the way that the world is right now. But I agree with Kerry and Brandon on the the keep them point of view, because I think that the price is right, and I'm gonna refer to the Pittsburgh Steelers again and say that like if you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers model, especially for pass rushers, all right, so you could say arguably that the Pittsburgh Steelers are the most successful pass rush development team in the entire NFL.
You could put wide receiver there too, by the way, but go ahead.
Wide receiver is another good point, but they've had different offensive coordinators, and they had Dick LeBeau for forever as the D coordinator. So when you look at their model was to develop the dude and then develop the dude behind the dude. So when the dude walked via free agency, they had the other dude to put in his place. And I think that we should think more about fertilizing soil and growing plants than replanting sod every 3 years with rookies.
I love that analogy, Kyle. That's
hard. So like when we think about this whole idea of Q in this, like I didn't want to draft him at 3 in that draft.
Sure.
I didn't want that to happen, but it did. And because it did, he is our asset in our defense and at that position. And based on what we just talked out, if he projects to 8-9 sacks from an interior line position, Greg Williams will get fired as quickly as Adam Gase. So I don't think we should have any illusions that Greg Williams is staying and that Adam Gase is going, unless it's an interim position. And he'll get fired at the end of the interim position too. So there's a very good what's that?
I was just saying, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Greg Williams either anymore. I'm done with him.
So with that said, we could have a situation where we go back to a 4-man front. And if we go back to a 4-man front, Quentin Williams is an unbelievable piece of a 4-man front.
Unbelievable 3 technique, interior tackle.
Because right now he's playing at the nose, I would say 60-70% of the time.
He plays at end too. They bump him out, him and Henry Anderson on the outside, and put McClendon in the middle.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot about
yeah.
McClendon.
So
and Fodakasi is playing very well. Shepard has flashes.
Franklin Myers is playing well.
Myers, I mean,
and I think Kerry, you're just proving my point. Like a lot of the players that you're mentioning, going back to last year with Phillips, a couple of those other players that we got off of scrap heaps.
Really well.
Yeah, no, not you though. Outplayed Q last year, right? I think we can find other people in that position. I'd rather have 5 with 3 first-round draft picks and 2 second-round draft picks in order to fill out cornerback, pass rusher, right tackle, quarterback, wide receiver, in my opinion. And
I'm a little surprised.
I just think I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. I think what it is what's going on right now is that we need to maintain or keep the assets that we draft and
Joe Douglas didn't draft him,
culture.
By the way.
I understand that. I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
We have a good asset, and I want these players that are even being drafted to want to be here and not feel like, well, you know what? If you guys continue to lose, they're going to end up trading you anyway. So why would I want to go to that kind of organization?
Especially the better you are, the more likely you're going to get traded. Brian, I'm a little surprised that you're taking this tack because you've been the most outspoken about how up in the air this draft is and how you don't really understand or know who will be in this draft class available for us. I mean, and what happens if we don't have the worst record in the league?
Great point, Kyle.
And we're not able to potentially draft Trevor Lawrence.
So why don't you put the asset up? Why don't you put the asset up? And here's why I even more so believe that we should trade, because right now in the way it looks, even if we end up, let's say everything stays the same and we end up 0-16 like some of the other teams here, like the Giants, Atlanta, we wouldn't get the number 1 pick because of strength of schedule. Our strength of schedule is way worse than the Giants who are playing in the NFC East, and Atlanta. Again, we have with the number 2 going into the season, the number 2 hardest schedule in the league. So,
oh my gosh,
right,
that makes it even more crazy. We got the toughest schedule, so you know what? We're not going to allow you to draft first because you just lost to better teams.
Right, right. And so
that's so Jets. That is so Jets.
Exactly, right? So that would be what would be so Jets right now is that, Atlanta, Giants, whatever. Now, if we only have one other first round draft pick, let's say Atlanta says, you know what, we want to keep Matt Ryan. Okay. Well, but they end up at the number 1 slot. Do we have the assets to trade up from 2 to 1?
And trade Quinn Williams.
I mean, what you going to take Q, or are you going to take the number 31 pick? Right?
I was just kidding.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a fair question. Yeah. Are you going to
Are
you going to throw Q in there? No.
Well, you might have to throw Q in there.
Well, here's the point.
And the pick.
You guys are proving my point. So if that's the case, if you have a number 1 draft pick, if you're Atlanta, do you want the number 31 draft pick, or do you want Q? I'd take number 31. I mean,
another argument.
You always take the draft pick. The draft pick is always better than the player. Because it's the unknown. It is. It absolutely is. It always is. It always is. The draft pick is always better than the player because you picked them.
A lot of ifs, bro, in this scenario. A lot of ifs.
It is.
I'm not rolling with it.
It is. There's a lot of ifs here, but the asset to me, if you're going to give the keys to Douglas, give the keys to Douglas. Let him. Yeah. I'm not saying trade him for a 3rd round draft pick. I'm not saying that.
Why doesn't he have the keys already? That's my question.
Well, I'm just not going to to me, if I'm Douglas, I'm listening to any trade that's out there, and I think he's doing the same. And if he finds something that's out there that he feels like, oh, this is a no-brainer, pull the trigger on it. There's nobody that's untradeable on my roster right now. Nobody.
I think the moral of this asset is, what time the Giants play today?
Win. Win, baby, win.
Win, fool.
So,
Yeah.
Then
basically win because, like win, unlike Brian's fantasy football team, is not winning.
No, it's not. It is not.
Yo,
winning.
Brian, I heard you in like last place.
I am, which is horrendous. It's
What
horrendous.
happened? What's going on?
Giants.
It's just COVID. We're gonna blame COVID on everything. It's just COVID.
So
Giants are in a terrible division too.
horrendous. So it's not going to get any better.
And we're in a good
to
division.
regular screens.
Yeah. Stop sharing for a second. But so my team is 1-4 right now, and my 4 losses were a total of 30 points.
Okay.
So it's not, and my point total is probably 4th in the league right now. So it's really just I lost 2 games by a total of like 3 points. So it's luck of the draw. It kind of is what it is. I have some injuries, right? I got Michael Thomas on my squad, which I've been holding down since game 1, who hasn't been able to roll out there. Just traded for Julio Jones. So let's
You're
see.
underutilizing him. You sound like you're the Adam Gase of fantasy.
That's what it is. Who the heck wants to be that guy? But listen, I'm 1-4, and listen, all you have to do is get into the number 8 slot, and the 8 slot is 2-3. So I'm a half game out of the 8 slot. That's all you got to be in order to make it.
Shock the world.
For you.
Huh?
Sounds like you need Quentin Williams playing that D line for you. You should scoop him up off the waiver wire.
Dude, I have, and then the dude put up like a 1. That's why I knew he had some average games out there.
I can only imagine, because I'm not playing fantasy this year for the first time in like 10 years.
This year either.
And I can only imagine. I always have trouble getting lineups in on time for like Thursday games and stuff like that. Like, life happens and I don't think about it every second of the day on the waiver wire like some people are. But
talking about me, bro? Is what you're trying to say?
No. Listen, if the shoe fits. But the nature of this season with these Tuesday games and the COVID rescheduling and everything like that, I think I would imagine that for somebody playing fantasy, it's a nightmare to figure that out. What happens if you start somebody on a COVID rescheduled game and you lose your matchup because that person doesn't play until October 31st?
Well, it's a bye. So at the end of the day, if the team doesn't play that week, COVID or otherwise, it's considered a bye. So, and that's what
you can replace them.
You can replace them with another, but the thing is, you don't know if they're playing until later on. Like, so the Tuesday game, you might not know until Sunday for sure if they're playing.
That stinks.
Right? So that's the hard part about it. And sometimes you have to leave money on the table or on your bench because you don't know if they're actually going to play, but the Sunday games are on now. So do you want to risk it or not?
And then your cycle will still be in the week before on Tuesday when you're getting ready for the next week's cycle on Thursday. Right?
Correct.
That's weird. And I don't think that anybody who's organizing fantasy football was necessarily ready for these types of scenarios.
Sure.
I mean, with baseball, it's like you have a rain out, you have a doubleheader. I've never done rotisserie or fantasy baseball. It seems to me that type of commitment is like a second job, especially if you're playing for stakes.
I want no parts of that.
Yeah, and I don't know.
You suck anyway, B. Don't worry about it.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just, this year I'm just way too busy, and it's like, oh my goodness, thank goodness, But I guess that's why you stink this year, right, B?
Busy.
Yeah, totally. That.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, bro. I mean, listen, I've come and won the chip at the 8th slot, so I'm not afraid of anybody and beating anybody. That's why I have 3 rings, and that's why we can move on because I'm still the champ.
What does the loser have to do in your league?
Nothing.
Oh, there's no loser stakes?
We should.
You know what we should do? Like, whoever loses the year before, like, we should vote on what their name is in the upcoming year.
I think you should do a face tattoo.
Oh my God.
Picked by the winner. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Brandon, we have a lot of tattoos right now.
Speaking of face tattoos and boxing, because I think Mike Tyson, as soon as I think of face tattoos.
Lopez last night from Brooklyn, New York.
There was a heck of a boxing.
That was a good fight.
Did you guys all get to watch it?
I watched.
I only got to watch some of it, but yeah.
I would check out the replay, Brian, if you get a chance. The fight before it was really good too. But it went, as a fight fan, as we all are, and we've watched multiple big time fights together. I think part of the beauty of boxing is that you experience it with someone else, and it's not like you're a fan of a team and they're a fan of another team. Most cases, you decide who you want to win in the moment. Brian and Brandon, we watched that Michael Moore and George Foreman in my den with like 70 other people. I love that aspect of it. But last night it was
and hey Kyle, sorry to step on you, Kyle. But Brian, remember the fight that we went to in Madison Square Garden?
Oh, absolutely, man.
Which fight was that?
It was the
was it Galata versus
it was basically the riot in the garden.
Lennox Lewis, right? Was that Lennox?
It wasn't Lennox.
Riddick Bowe?
Riddick Bowe?
Riddick Bowe.
Yes, it was
Riddick Bowe. He low blowed him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Several times.
Yeah. And then they started fighting in the ring.
Yep.
And then you saw the fight spread from the ring all throughout the arena and all around us. Me, Brian, and Tehran were standing up like this, just watching out for each other because
you had to get out.
Get knocked out all around us. It was the most I've ever seen. It was the most amount of people I've ever seen fight at one time. It was a full-on riot.
Yes. Complete melee. The definition of melee, that's exactly what was happening.
And people were making it seem like it was a race thing. No, it wasn't. It wasn't black and white. It was New York versus Poland.
It was.
I saw white guys fighting white guys.
It was.
I saw guys fighting.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of Polish people in New York.
Yes. Yeah. They were all over the place, man. It was crazy.
And they were running around with the red and white Polish flag. So basically, if you had that, then you were fighting. But those guys, they were bringing it, those Polish dudes. But New York came and kind of got them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I saw Joe Calzaghe versus Roy Jones Jr. Me and my wife at Madison Square Garden. We went out to like the steakhouse beforehand and got dressed up, and it was amazing. And Joe Calzaghe, I think, is a very underappreciated champion. Somebody who held the belt for a long time and took all comers, whereas they were alluding to it last night when I think Joe Tessitore said, like, in the era of Floyd Mayweather, it was more about acquiring money fights than necessarily fighting the best pound for pound fighter in every match. And last night's fight was a great matchup. Styles make fights. It was, and the kid, I think the kid surprised everybody because he came out like a boxer, and everybody was expecting power.
Yeah, totally. I mean, he shut down the ring on Lomachenko. Lomachenko likes to, attack you from certain angles. You know what I'm saying? It's like, now you see me, no, now you don't. I'm on the left side of you. Now I'm on the right side of you. And he cut that down significantly. I think Lomachenko's mistake was that he didn't come after him
earlier.
It took too long for him to come after him. It should have been. I know he likes to size people up. I've seen his fights and then attack. Sort of like a surgeon. But the problem was that he had somebody in the ring who was trying to do the same exact thing, but was doing it more aggressivly.
And he has more power.
The scorecards were mad wild too. Like like Julie Letterman. Like I have a lot of respect for her dad as far as like being a boxing guy. And I know Brandon, you work with Max a lot, and Max and Howard Letterman are like kind of staples of it. But Julie Letterman is an experienced judge, and she comes out with these weird scores, man. Like she had 119, 111.
Right, which is crazy.
Which means that Lomachenko, like 3 rounds.
Did nothing, but no, that's not the case.
And my opinion, I disagreed with Andre Ward's card, which was a draw, that had Lomachenko winning the second round. I think it was pretty much Lopez had all the early rounds. Lomachenko had all the late rounds up until the 12th,
the last round, right,
where Lopez closed the show. So,
right.
like a 7-5.
Totally. That's how I had it. I had it 7-5.
So I mean, listen, just to move on, but New York native, Teofimo Lopez, man, congratulations to you. I got to work with him, on 2 different occasions. Great kid, man, like a really nice young man. So I'm just happy for him and his family. And as we do on BKBK, we always rep New York. So definitely just want to shout him out.
And he's from Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn.
Before we wrap our show up, listen, it's a pre-show, so we have to do predictions, okay? So basically, the Jets are playing the Miami Dolphins.
I hate that second syllable. My question, my question is for you guys: who is playing? Is Perryman to be found?
Yes.
Is Mims to be found?
No.
Ashton Davis.
Who?
Hold on. So you said that Perryman is playing, but Mims isn't.
That's
correct.
correct.
The other way.
That Perriman's playing, Mims is not. He's still on IR.
Come on, Mims.
Wow.
Yeah, terrible. It's terrible.
Wow.
I feel bad for Mims because I really think he's one of the top gems of that draft class, and he's not really getting a chance to spin. And CeeDee Lamb is having such a good year.
Jefferson is having a good year too. Yeah, Jefferson too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about is Becton playing?
My middle name
is Becton playing?
I'm talking about him from day one, Claypool.
I don't think Becton is playing.
Oh my god.
He's doubtful, so I don't think he's playing.
Oh.
It sounds like this is where the Pittsburgh Steelers reign supreme, Brandon. But yes, Les Primus Claypool had a
Claypool.
He had a great.
If I hear Claypool one more time, man, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, and
hey, you got to make your voice high pitched, like Hobie. Claypool.
Claypool.
All right, so listen, since you turkeys are trying to tease me, I'll go first.
Sure.
It's real quick. The Jets are going to lose. My prediction. I think that Ryan Fitzpatrick is probably going to throw like 4 touchdowns. He'll probably throw 2 picks and fumble once, and one of those 2 picks is going to be picked off by Pierre Desir, and Desir is going to be beat for all 4 of those touchdowns. So just like what Kyle and I were talking about off camera, Pierre Desir, I think he leads the league in picks, but he still stinks. So it's weird. So the Jets are going to lose. Let's see.
He's no James Hasty.
Yeah, I'm going to put it at
wow.
38-10. 38-10. Jets lose.
Oof.
Blown out. They get their heads kicked off.
Oof.
Who's next?
I'll go next. 42-14.
Jets are winning 42-14?
Negative.
Oh, just kidding.
The Fins 42-14. It's going to look horrible, man. Yeah, the TV will be off by 6 o'clock.
All right. I'm going to make a different type of prediction. I'm going to say that if the Jets hold the Dolphins to under 30 points, they will win.
The Fins will win? Is that what you mean, Fins?
No, the Jets. If the Dolphins only scored 29 points, the Jets will win. If they score anything over 29 points, the Jets will lose.
We haven't scored 29 points since the 80s, Kyle. What are you talking about?
Hey, I want to, this
Okay.
turkey wanted to switch it up a little bit. I love it. I love it when Brandon calls me a turkey. The best.
I try not to curse anymore. So
Turkey.
those are my supplemental words.
So my prediction is that we will lose. We will lose by 3 touchdowns. And, maybe it'll be 24-3. I think the defense will.
I don't want to watch 24-3 at all. I don't want to watch that game.
Not at all. I'm hoping we just get to watch a game with action. That's all I can hope for right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be watching specific players like Quinnen Williams.
Sure.
Hopefully, if Ashton Davis plays,
Watch him get traded.
It's all about eval now.
And right, it's all about eval,
Pro personnel,
and Perriman. I want to see him do well. We have him for at least another year, right? Is this a
1 year deal?
A 1 year contract?
1 year
It's a
deal.
1 year deal. Okay.
He's a 1 year deal. Poole is a 1 year deal. A lot of 1 year deals.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, just for the record,
I thought Poole was a 2 year deal.
No, it's a 1 year.
1 year.
Oh,
yeah, 3.5,
okay.
I think.
Okay.
I think we now, with the release of Bell, we'll be 80 to 81% below the cap. Not percent, but 81 million below the cap. We are now the top of the National Football League.
Which means nothing if you can't attract any free agents because they don't want to be here and only want to sign with teams that are going to overpay them.
But what you can do,
got to do it a little bit.
What you can do is trade for, I don't know, like a Julio Jones, who then you'd owe 20 million to. But I mean, I'm just putting things out there. That's what you have cap for. If you can't sign
Julio
him,
Jones stays hurt too. Julio Jones stays hurt too.
I just as an example, bro. I mean, geez,
I'm just saying, don't get me. Don't have me out here salivating.
D Hop. I mean, we can't trade him for him now. But as an example, somebody of that ilk. If you have that, you don't have to sign him. You can trade for him. That's all I'm saying.
You can also restructure and re-sign those assets that you like. So that they're not chirping in the summer about how they don't have a new contract.
Like who? Who are we going to do that to? We traded everybody away. We have nobody to resign, Kyle. That's not a problem.
You signed Marcus May.
Oh,
come
on, man.
I have a feeling.
Look, I'm with that.
Hey, man, I'm just saying.
I'm with that.
I think the at least Joe Flacco can grip it and rip it. He can if Perriman is in there and we want to send him deep, Joe Flacco can throw it to him deep. I don't know. I think that we have a lot to fix, and I just don't know if we have the people to fix it. And I don't.
The personnel or the players.
Man, get rid of the coach, man.
I'm talking about the front office, and until I know who is calling the shots, they all deserve equal blame. And they should all, get lost. And I think that goes for Joe Douglas in a way too. If he is actually the one calling the shots,
he's not going. He's got 6 more years here. That's why he's signed a long-term contract. So he knew this was a long-term rebuild. So
I know. I just is he a guy locked in the basement with no windows that can't do anything? Or is he a guy?
I don't think we're saying that. But listen, the immediate remedy and is getting rid of Gase, and then you kind of start from there. I mean, that's kind of, we can't get rid of ownership, and Douglas signed a 6-year deal. I think the immediate short-term remedy is something that we know that is a big time problem, and that's Adam Gase. So at least get rid of him and reevaluate. We'll see. All right, guys, listen. Thanks for watching another episode of the BKBK podcast. We want to be able to keep bringing you the latest news and viewpoints of where sports and the culture collide, and the New York Jets reign supreme. So keep watching. You can find us on Facebook on our BKBK podcast fan page. Find us on Twitter on @BKBK podcast, on Instagram @BKBK podcast, as well as on YouTube. When you go to YouTube, just type in BKBK podcast. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button. Feel free to share it all over the place. We would love that. And if you can't watch us, listen to us. And you can listen to us on iTunes. Go to bkbkpodcast.podomatic.com. All right, folks, that's it. And let's go Jets, kind of, sort of. Let's see what's going on here.
Let's go Giants, and let's go Falcons too, baby.
Exactly. And as always,
Giants are up 3-0.
Bruins, all right? Let's go. Great job, guys. Let's go Team BKBK. How about that?
That's right. Woo!
Let's go.
Peace out.
What's up, guys?
Happy Halloween. What a face.